talked about this 15% savings rate, and I would say that is a great target for a lot of our clients that are in that, 400 to $600,000 of income. The reason we come up with 15% as a potential target is we see these clients living full lives. Their kids are involved in sports. They're doing a lot socially. They have nice houses. They drive decent cars, and overall, they're able to pay all of these bills. Cash flow while contributing to their 401k. But at a certain income level, their 401k isn't going to be enough, or they're not creating enough flexibility. And so as these big chunks of income come in through promotions or bonuses or commissions, we want to make sure that before they get to, hey, now we can afford another renovation, or now we can afford the more expensive car or club or whatever it is, drift that lifestyle. Let's at least set a challenging metric for them to hit to be able to seek, are we protecting our future self enough? Now, 15% is aggressive, right? It's challenging for most, and there's a lot of expenses at this stage of life. So with many clients, it's much more of a spectrum of, when I look at our overall client base, those that are typically saving less than 10%, we're having a lot of conversations as far as, okay, how can we prioritize the most important expenses in our life, and what can be deferred or cut back on to be able to, leave some for your future self. When we go to 20% and those saving more than 20%, we typically think through, all right, what are the things in your life that you would value spending money on, and how can loosen up the purse strings and live a little. 15% falls right in between those, but I would say we're open to a wide ranging spectrum between likely 10 and 20. If you break down 15% of savings at like 400,000 of income, you have both spouses are maxing out their 401k through work. You're at about, 25,000 each, so 50,000 there. And then that gives you about 1,000 a month of extra savings that you're putting towards something like a non-retirement brokerage account. That gives you extra flexibility for a slight income setback. That gives you extra flexibility for expenses that may pop up that you weren't expecting. That gives you a big cushion that you're building over time. If you have an extra bonus that you're able to put away in and above that, you're doing great. And I would say you're striking a really nice balance between life today and flexibility and security in the future. If you're making 400 and not able to max out your 401k, then we have to look at, how do we create flexibility? And so a lot of times we're not advising clients in that situation to max out their 401k today. We need to build out flexibility, but we don't want to lose sight of that target of, hey, we're probably still going to need to continue working on finding ways as income continues to grow to be able to save. So you're not stuck at this level of income for forever. Saving less than 10%, that might not be enough. It's just, you have to keep up this level of income. Say you're making 400,000 and you're only able to save 5% of it. You're probably not going to be able to build up enough of a nest egg to eventually live off of that portfolio and sustain the lifestyle that you've become used to. It also makes for far less wiggle room if you had to take a pay cut for either a more fulfilling job, a more flexible job, or a layoff situation. We're seeing layoffs all over the place. And if you're living off of every bit of the 400,000 that you're making, then you have to find another job that offers that same level of income. So not enough is, maybe as we look long term into not enough to build up enough of a portfolio to be able to live off of and sustain this lifestyle. But I would say not enough even for today or the next 3 to 5 years, because now you've become accustomed to a $400,000 lifestyle that you're going to need to sustain through all kinds of job markets and regardless of your enjoyment in that profession.